A yacht girl. That's right. It's mentioned in the book. Meghan used to entertain as a yacht girl. Now, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it happened. But I am saying Harry knows.
Before she ever became the so-called Duchess of Drama, Meghan Markle was just another Hollywood hopeful, juggling scripts, auditions, and rejection letters that stacked higher than her ambitions. But here's the twist. While most aspiring actresses were losing themselves in endless casting calls, Meghan was already playing a different kind of game. She wasn't waiting for Hollywood to open its gates. She was finding her own red carpet.
Absolutely zero doubt in my mind. Rachel Meghan Markle was a semi-expensive yacht girl, and she...
And guess what? It wasn't in Los Angeles. It was floating. Yes, floating somewhere along the glittering blue of the Mediterranean. While other actresses fought for screen time, Meghan was charming billionaires under the golden sun on luxury yachts, where the champagne never stopped flowing and cameras were strictly forbidden.
did know Prince Andrew, and she knew Sarah incredibly well, which makes Zara a liar because she said, I didn't know Meghan Markle until she invited me to her wedding. That is B.
It was a world of secrets, exclusivity, and power. The kind of circles where reputations were built over midnight whispers and destroyed by morning headlines. But those glossy yacht days, those mysterious, untouchable moments, are suddenly resurfacing, dragging Meghan's carefully crafted royal image straight into a storm of scandal.
Prince Andrew's going to come out and say, hey, Harry, I did your wife quite a few times on yachts before you.
The disruption began when Sarah Ferguson, yes, that Fergie, casually dropped a bombshell. The palace walls didn't just rattle, they practically shook. She didn't just toss shade, she detonated it. Fergie's claim was sensational. Meghan was Andrew's first client. When those words hit the air, jaws across Britain hit the floor, faster than the royal approval ratings after the Netflix docuseries. It wasn't a careless comment, it was an explosion.
Shocked to find out who is Fergie's target and what she's willing to disclose and how far she will go just to get revenge with him.
It forged a direct, inescapable link between Meghan's glamorous pre-royal days and the darkest chapters of Prince Andrew's scandalous past. Suddenly, Prince Harry, the rebel royal who traded a crown for California sunshine, was forced to realize that the love story he risked everything for might have roots tangled in far murkier waters than he ever imagined. Grab your teacup, darling, because tonight's brew is scalding. This is not a royal rumor, it's a full-blown tempest. And when the truth surfaces, someone's crown isn't going to survive the tide. The palace didn't stay silent for long. Oh no, the whispers turned into a roaring media storm within hours.
Nothing to lose. Fergie wants to scorch the earth with the royal family now that she's no longer able to use the title. That is a cautionary tale for Harry, the idiot, who doesn't understand that he's married to the enemy. He's sleeping with the...
Fergie exposes Meghan's yacht past, screamed the tabloids. But behind the headlines, the tension was visceral. Palace insiders revealed that the Duchess of York didn't accidentally say what she said. She meant it. Her reference to Meghan being Andrew's first client wasn't a slip-up. It was a dangerous, deliberate spark thrown right into the royal powder keg. Behind those marble walls, panic took over. Senior aides reportedly called emergency meetings to figure out how to contain what they feared might become another Andrew-level catastrophe. But this time, it wasn't an aging prince under fire. It was Meghan Markle, the woman who once promised to modernize the monarchy and somehow became its most polarizing figure.
Thinks that she's above them. Now that Fergie's down, now she doesn't want to have anything to do with Fergie. But you don't do that with people who knows your secrets, people who know your skanky past. And Fergie's ready to tell on Meghan Markle. She's ready to destroy her. She's ready to put it out.
Sources say this belief spread like wildfire through royal circles. It wasn't just the audacity of Fergie's claim, it was the chilling implication behind it. Could Meghan's old networking days, those elusive yacht summers surrounded by billionaires and brokers, actually overlap with Andrew's infamous social sphere? The very thought sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace. And the worst part? This wasn't coming from a tabloid or a distant outsider. It came from within the royal family itself. When Fergie speaks, one insider whispered, she's not gossiping, she's warning. The palace was now trapped in an impossible dilemma. Do they defend Meghan and risk reopening Andrew's old wounds, or stay silent and let the rumors devour them both? But there's always a reason when someone like Sarah Ferguson speaks, and behind her smirk might just lie a decades-old rivalry that no one saw coming. Because this wasn't random. Oh no, this was calculated. So why did Fergie choose now to light this royal fuse? According to palace insiders, timing was everything. Fergie's remark was a masterstroke of strategy, a perfectly timed reminder that even after decades of exile and humiliation, she still knew how to control a narrative. You see, Fergie's own story is dripping with scandal. Ostracized, mocked, dismissed as a royal embarrassment. For years, she lived under the shadow of disgrace, while others enjoyed the spotlight. But when Meghan walked in, dazzling the press and commanding global attention, something inside Fergie snapped. Meghan's rise was everything Fergie had once wanted: a modern royal, adored by media and feared by the establishment. Some aides even whispered that Fergie believed Meghan had stolen her playbook, the outsider who became royalty, rewriting the rules of royal fame. So maybe, just maybe, this was personal. By linking Meghan's name to Andrew's scandal-stained circle, Fergie wasn't just spilling tea. She was dragging her rival down to the very depths she herself had once been thrown into. But others believe it was even darker, that by tethering Meghan to Andrew, Fergie was performing the ultimate royal trick, diverting attention, shifting public scrutiny away from herself and her ex-husband, a royal sleight of hand. One duchess sacrificed to save another, and oh, did it work. Overnight, the headlines flipped. The storm that had been swirling over Fergie and Andrew suddenly had a new target. While Meghan's PR team scrambled to contain the damage, Fergie sat back, calm, composed, victorious. Watching as the chaos she started rewrote royal history. One headline at a time beneath the glitz and gossip, a deeper tension brewed. Because when that story broke, Prince Harry's entire world tilted. Sources close to Montecito say he was blindsided, utterly shattered when the yacht allegations resurfaced. At first, he couldn't even speak. It wasn't anger at first, it was disbelief. The man who left his family to protect his wife was now watching her name dragged through the very mud he tried to escape. Once the shock faded, though, the fury came roaring in. Behind closed doors, things got heated. Meghan, usually composed and strategic, was said to be pacing rooms, repeating that it was nothing more than character assassination. Harry, though, was laser-focused not on Meghan, but on who had done this. Who's behind it, he reportedly demanded, his voice cutting through the silence like a sword. Across the ocean, the palace was frozen in eerie quiet. Spokespeople refused to comment. Senior courtiers moved meetings behind closed doors, and deep within those echoing corridors, whispers began to swirl. Not just about Fergie's words, but about Harry's reaction to them. One insider didn't hold back. Harry feels betrayed, they said, not just by Fergie, but by the family's silence. That silence screamed louder than any statement could. The rift between the Sussexes and the rest of the royals, already stretched to breaking point, began to tear even further. Meghan, ever the strategist, reportedly begged Harry to stay calm, to focus on their life, their children, their empire. But deep down, the damage was already done. Because this wasn't just idle gossip. This was war. The man who had left the monarchy to protect his love was now realizing that even oceans away, the crown's shadow could still reach him and strike exactly where it hurt the most. And that's when the real paranoia began to creep in. Was this chaos an accident, or something perfectly engineered by the palace itself? Because make no mistake, this wasn't just another royal feud. It was a mirror reflecting everything the monarchy doesn't want you to see. Its fractures, its secrets, its survival instincts. The Meghan-Andrew connection isn't just another scandal. It's a reminder that in the royal world, the past never really vanishes. It simply waits for the perfect moment to rise again. The palace has always survived by controlling the story. But this time, the story slipped from their hands and exploded across the world. For Prince Harry, the fallout cut deeper than pride. It cracked the very foundation of what he'd sacrificed everything for: love, freedom, peace. The man who once defied his bloodline to protect his wife was now forced to watch his family become target practice for the same institution he'd tried to escape. The storm that Fergie started has cracked open secrets the palace hoped were buried forever. Every whisper now echoes louder than the crown itself. But if you think this was Fergie's first rodeo, think again. Before this yacht scandal even made headlines, Fergie had already been living a life so extravagant, so outrageous, it bordered on fiction private jets, $1,200 per plate dinners, designer wardrobes that rivaled Queen's, all funded on debts that could make a banker faint. Her life wasn't a fairy tale, it was a luxury soap opera. So maybe it's no surprise that she knows exactly how to turn someone else's chaos into her own comeback. The private jets, the lavish parties, the million-dollar debts. It's all in our previous expose, Fergie's outrageous spending. Exposed, royal feasts, private jets, and $4.2 million in debt. It's a jaw-dropping look into how one duchess turned extravagance into an art form, and how those same choices may have pushed her to pull Meghan right back into the spotlight. Because in the royal world, no move is ever without motive, and no secret stays buried forever. You're watching Fame Unplugged, where power meets scandal and every secret comes with a price. So hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and dive into the next royal saga, because trust me, this storm isn't over. Not even close.